Now, do I need to remind you that I am the man that defeated John Cena and Braun Strowman in the same place at the same time, which makes me the odds-on favorite to win the Elimination Chamber, which I will. And then I will go on to WrestleMania. 6 men enter, but only one really leads. It ain't gonna be the big dog because nobody believes. And as for the Miz, should watch his step, maybe just stick to Miz TV. You remember those songs I wrote, Miz? Those weren't for you, those were for Maurice. I smashed John Cena with a guitar. The only thing John can't see is that the future is right here. Then we've got Braun Strowman. I get it, you raise your hands, say your name, but I'm gonna douse your dreams in gasoline and watch it go up in flames.
Ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman.
Oh my God.
Okay. This ought to be good.
Well, Elias says he's gonna win, but we all know that that ain't true. You look at me, boy, when I'm singing, 'cause I'm not finished with you. You may not know it, you may not realize, but when this song's over, you're gonna get these hands.
And Elias and he goes right after Strowman, and Strowman enters the ring, and Elias wasted little time, not allowing the Monster Among Men to... Uh-oh, guitar! Oh, no!
You hit me with it twice now. You ain't getting away with it again.
Oh, my God!
That primal concrete sledge right to the heart of Elias.
You got away with it twice. It's not going to happen again.
Strowman's about to reupholster Elias.
Strowman monster. Oh, power slam.
You guys ready for Strowman's new album to drop? If you don't buy it, you're going to get those hands.
Oh, I'll buy it. I'll buy 10 of them. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Put that thing down.
You don't think.
Coach, go help Elias.
I ain't helping anybody. He's not.
Oh, no, no, my God. Oh, my God. Braun just blew up the Chicken Man in San Jose tonight. Elias is down and out. I don't believe what I just saw.
I can't even speak. I'm smiling so big.
Elias is down, and somewhere there's an orchestra that is short one bass.
Damn!
What's up, everybody? Welcome in to episode 93 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast right here on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts from. It's your boy, at Notorious Joshy on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/JWL Podcasts. We do this podcast every single Friday for your listening pleasures. I want to start off the show really quick by sending my condolences and well wishes to the families that were affected by the terrible shooting that happened in Parkland, Florida the other day. And I would come on here and rant about that, but it's not my place to do that. It's just very sad where we are as a country right now. And you guys know my motto for this show. I'm all about spreading positivity and trying to look at things from a different perspective, but there's no justifying or defending anything that occurred the other day. So my thoughts and prayers are with those families who had to deal with that bullshit the other day in Florida, because that's ridiculous. 3 mass shootings in 5 months. It's just absolutely embarrassing. But hey, I'm here to get your mind off of that. Wrestling's an escape, right? And hopefully this podcast can be an escape for you. If you're a loyal supporter of this podcast, I thank you. You're the real MVP. If you're not, and it's your first time listening, hope you enjoy it. I used to do play-by-play articles for Between the Ropes and WrestleZone.com, and now I have my own website, ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. I've been doing this podcast for just about a year and a half, and I've been a broadcaster for 5 years. So I want to thank you guys for coming on and listening to my shenanigans. And I got a fun show for you guys this week. We are 7 episodes away from hitting our 100 mark. And by that time, I'll be in New Orleans for WrestleMania. Today on the podcast is going to be very deep into monologue because I'm going to be opening up about internal struggles and come from bad environments. I'll be talking about Impact today, actually. I got some praise for Impact, so I want to do that before we get into our other shenanigans. Like, we will have the Young Club this week. We have our thoughts on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. And coming up a week from this Sunday will be the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, so I'll try to figure out the rest of this pay-per-view card by the end of this podcast. If you ever have any suggestions, please send it to me at Twitter at NotoriousJoshy or on my email, ProWrestlingTranscriptions@gmail.com. And lastly, I want to give a couple shout-outs before we get started here. First off, shout out to the good brother Punkster at Twitter at AdamDaily13. He is the man. Shout out to my boy Brian Snow, the Snowman. Check him out at Arena Sports Network. Brian's been one, if not my biggest supporters in my broadcast career, not only as a broadcasting colleague, but as a brother. And me and him go through a lot of struggles, and that guy busts his ass, and he cares about what he does. And I look up to him as a mentor. So shout out to the Snowman. Shout out to Brother Carter at Twitter as well at Derico06. Check out what he does at WrestleRumors.net. And other shout outs, I give a shout out to all you great listeners who listen to the podcast every week, like my boy Brandon DeJesus. What's up, good brother? Shout out to my other boy Sam Piopo at Second City Sam on Twitter. And always remember, we always have a little game we play with each other. It's either shot, no shot. And that would kind of be a cool game to do here on the podcast one day. Just like you send me a bunch of hypotheticals and I'll be like, shot, no shot. I love saying shot, no shot. So shout out to him at Twitter at Second City Sam. And always remember, folks, hashtag Philly is trash. Yes, it is trash to the highest degree. And last other shout-outs, I can shout out to my boy Nick from the UK, Nick_BD, Patrick Fritz, all the other loyal supporters of the podcast, my other mentor Steve Muehlhausen at Twitter at SMuehlhausenMMA. We have a guest coming on the podcast next week, my main mentor and my teacher for my broadcasting days, Jonathan Hood from ESPN 1000 and Sirius XM NBA Radio will be coming on the podcast. We're going to be recording that chat on Monday. It will be dropping it later on that week. But I'm very excited to catch up with Hoodie. He's a big wrestling fan like I am, and Hoodie's been a longtime veteran broadcaster here in the city of Chicago. And I've had him on my old Pro Wrestling Experience show when I was still attending the Illinois Media School at the time. And Hoodie, without Jonathan Hood, I'm not doing this right now. So I'm very excited to have Hoodie back on the podcast next week. And it's going to be fun. And next week will be kind of sentimental for me because it's the 94th episode. And I was born in 1994. So it's next week's going to be a lot of fun. But let's focus about this week. I'm one of those people that live in the moment. I'm not too worried about the future. I worry about things when it matters the most and when I need to worry. I'm a person who goes through things one day at a time. I'm not an overthinker. I like to think that I look at things from a rational point of view and not just spew shit out of my mouth just for the hell of it. I'm a kind of person that likes to see things play out over time. For example, I'm not in a rush to find out the entire WrestleMania card and who's going to be left on and who's going to be left off and who's being booked the right way and who's not being booked the right way towards WrestleMania. I really don't care about that stuff. We have a lot of good stuff going on in wrestling right now, from New Japan to Impact. Let's start off with that really quick because I do want to get into monologue. It's more deep, but I want to get some positive stuff and positive energy going as you're listening to the beginning of the show. I want to give a shout out to Impact. I've been hard on Impact over the last couple years, and justifiably so, with what they've done with their product and a couple of business decisions they've made. But as you guys know, I cover every single Impact on ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. And just this past month of programming and just the in-ring quality in itself, it's been really, really good. I wouldn't call it phenomenal or earth-shattering or anything like that. I still have my issues with Josh Matthews being on the commentary. He doesn't help. He doesn't have the show feel like there's a good flow or anything like that. But I like what Impact's doing. I enjoy the matches they're putting on. There is a new feel to Impact right now, and they're putting good matches, and I'm glad that they decided to go back to a 4-side ring instead of a 6. So I just want to give some shout outs to the crew at Impact because they've been putting out some good content over the last couple weeks, and I thought last night's episode was very, very good from top to bottom. And, you know, having matches like Sami Callihan against Bobby Lashley was cool. EC3 and Tyrus had a good tag team match with Matt Sydal and Johnny Impact. And then you had the El Hijo del Fantasma against Taiji Ishimori for the X Division title, which was phenomenal. And then you had the main event of Austin Aries against Eli Drake. And, you know, Impact doesn't air a lot of pay-per-views, but they put on a lot of pay-per-view quality matches on Impact. And even if you're not a person that has Pop TV, go on your way and find a website that airs the replays of Impact and go watch it. You know, I cover these shows and I get done with the articles about an hour and 20 minutes into it. You know, it's fun. And I talked about this in the past. If there's a show that you may not be as interested all the time with wrestling, whether it's from the WWE or any other promotion, you don't have to sit through video packages and commercial breaks. And there's no requirement in today's era for you to be forced to sit down at a specific time to watch a show, unless it's a pay-per-view or a Big Four show. In my opinion, I don't think you're required to sit down and put on Raw automatically at 7 o'clock Central Time on the USA Network. I don't think so. Maybe you disagree with me with that, but I don't feel that way. I think it's important to watch and consume the wrestling the way you want to do it. If you don't want to watch the show live, and I can attest to this, even covering the shows live, I have a better time covering the shows live than just sitting it back, not doing anything, and being on Twitter during the entire show. You know why? I can focus on what's happening on the show. I can get my mind off of social media and not worry about what everybody else is saying, because honestly, I don't care what everybody else is saying. It's not to be rude or anything, but other people's opinions on Twitter, especially on Twitter during these live shows, mean absolutely nothing. They don't. They're just opinions. And a lot of the times, the same things you see on Twitter is the same narratives and the same words and the same formats and how they form out these tweets. It's like I can't take live chatter during wrestling shows on Twitter seriously, because they're all the same. They're all repeating the same thing with the same narratives, etc., etc., etc. I don't need to go on Twitter and look what James Storm or Taz or Lance Storm or anybody, any other personality to justify my opinions on the show. I have my opinions on the show, whether I like it or not. I don't need a former wrestler or a former commentator to tell me how I should feel about the show. I don't need Vince Russo spending his Monday nights bitching and having everybody feel sorry for him because he got blackmailed in the wrestling business. I don't need Vince Russo and Jim Cornette to tell me how I should feel about today's wrestling and it's the drizzling shits and everything sucks. No. It's my opinion. If you didn't like Raw this week, that's on you. I enjoyed Raw this week. It was awesome. I liked Impact. I talked about last week of the momentum that 205 Live is building. Is SmackDown at a lull right now? Sure. But I'm sure things will pick up before Fastlane. Is NXT the greatest thing every single week? No. But they put on good content like they did this week. I promise I don't try to be a broken record here, but watch the product your own way and form your own opinions. That's all I'll ever ask for you fans. It's that simple. So let's move on really quick. The theme for this week's monologue is internal struggle and how you deal with it and where you go with it and how you face it. And this goes out to anybody that's ever come from bad neighborhoods or bad environments or bad living situations with your family internally. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm blessed with what I'm able to do in my career right now and the things and the opportunities I've been able to have and earn over these past 5 years and the stuff I did back then when I was doing music. I'm very fortunate in a lot of ways in the things that have come to my life. Nothing was ever really handed to me in my life. There's a lot of internal conflict that I had to persevere through during my childhood, especially being a kid who was deaf at birth. And think about it, I'm going to be 24 this year, and I started my life with tubes down my ears. And I come from a bad neighborhood in Chicago by Humboldt Park. In the west side of Chicago. I don't live in the suburbs. I don't live in eastern Illinois. I'm dead set in the middle of the city. My house, from driving distance, is like 5-10 minutes away from the United Center. And those who actually know where the United Center is and go to events and been to Chicago before, you know that area is not all crystal clean and proper like your other arenas around the United States. I come from the west side of Chicago, and it's not something that I brag about or something I'm proud of, but it's something that it's real life. It's something I dealt with. I've seen people kill each other in person. I've seen shootings. I've seen beatdowns. I've seen gang warfares at schools break out when I was 8 years old. I've seen women dragging each other on the streets. I've seen little kids got run over. I've seen a lot of bad things in my life. And running into drug dealers, and even for myself, having to beat up people just so I could find a way to get home. And people try to start shit with you. And people that look down on you. And, you know, you're in this neighborhood where you have Puerto Ricans on this side and Italians, and then a couple blocks down the street you have a bunch of Ukrainians who try to stuck up their nose because they're elitists and try to stuck their nose and look at you wrong and all this shit. And then you also have the racist white people who will be like, oh, are you Mexican? And I'm like, no, I'm Italian and Puerto Rican. Thank you for your assumption, asshole. And there's just a lot of bad things that came from my neighborhood and something I'm not proud of. I think we're all in some type of way a product of where we came from and what we were born into. I've talked about in the past about some of the struggles I had with my family and the fact that there was a lot of tension, and there's never really seemed, when I was little, things have changed a little bit since I've gotten older. It's not as bad as I was as a kid, but I wouldn't come out here and lie to you and act like everything in my life is during my life has been rainbows and butterflies. Nor am I saying I'm the only one that feels that way, because I know people in the circle who've dealt with a lot of similar things that I've dealt with, and it's not easy to talk about this stuff. It's not, but I think in having a platform like this, it's important to reflect, and people can say they want to vent, but I look at this as a platform to reflect on where I came from, the things I've seen, the lessons I've learned along the way, and how I'm growing and evolving as a better person. And hopefully I could help you feel better about yourself and not trying to bring yourself down, because I did that to myself a lot. A lot of the times throughout my life, I put a lot of pressure on myself because I wanted to reach a certain point so I could leave Chicago. And I really never had the time to talk about this. And, just looking at what's going on in the world right now, the shootings, and, hey, I'm the first one that can attest to Chicago's gun violence. Trust me, I know firsthand. It's no joke. It's not a laughing matter either. And when I say I applied this pressure to myself, a large part of me wanted to leave Chicago because I needed something different. And there was a big part of me a couple of years ago where I felt like I wasn't sure if I was going to make it past 25 in the city. There was a new wave of gangs that were spreading through my neighborhood. A lot of kids were getting shot just for no reason. Hell, kids got shot through a drive-through, and the kid wasn't even related to any gang members. But because of mistaken identity, the poor girl got shot at the age of 9. Think about that. And, you have drug dealers, and you got all these racist white people, and it's just sad. It really is. And I like I mentioned, like I talked about before, I lived in a toxic household, and my parents got divorced, and my sister moved out to California, and I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her that she found her chance to get herself some freedom and got to start living her own life. I'm happy for her. In a lot of ways, what I'm dealing with right now is kind of regret, because I want to be doing the same thing she's doing. And, she didn't finish college or anything like that, but I went to broadcasting school. I've been striving for this broadcasting career for the last 4 years, and it's had some highs and had some lows, and there's struggle. There's struggle from the environments you come from. There's struggles in the careers you enter. There's struggles with things you deal with internally from a personal character point of view. There's struggles with how people look at you. There's struggles how people perceive you. There's struggles every aspect of life. There's some type of struggle that comes with it. And you could look for sympathy. You could feel sorry for yourself. You could blame the world and act like the world's against you. Or you could go out of your way, do your business, live your life, be a good human, and if you work hard enough, you can find your release and find your way to escape those environments on your own accord. I get it. I do agree to a certain extent the most important thing in life is family. But a lot of times, family is a lot of the main reasons that comes with struggle. And the main cogs behind people feeling bad about themselves and people being upset and just having bad mental health, too, at the same time, from a psychological standpoint. You know, not every family is great. Not every family is all bosom buddies. Not every family loves each other. Not every family supports each other in what careers they want to do. We have family members who try to make you live the life they want you to live. Not what you want to do, but what they want you to do. I'll never understand that. Where you come from, a white family, a black family, a Hispanic family, Chinese, whatever. I will never respect family members who try to force upon things on your life just so it can benefit them. You know, I have family members who've gone on their way and try to reach out to me and tell me, oh, you should try something else, Josh. Oh, maybe broadcasting's not for you. Oh, maybe broadcasting should be this. Oh, you should go do this. You should work at all these. You should do this. You should do that. I've never been arrested. I've never done drugs. I've been in a couple fights in my life. But I wouldn't consider myself a bad kid. I'm not a bad person. I helped my mom during the time she was doing her divorce. Like I said, I don't think I'm a bad person. Those that really know me know that I'm just a down-to-earth guy that tries to avoid drama to the best of my ability. And there's a lot of times where I'm lonely. I feel depressed about that because I don't have a lot of people to talk to, or I don't have that many friends. And if I did have friends, they're all out of state. So there's things that I deal with internally that I struggle with. A lot of it is self-confidence too. You could struggle with your self-confidence. I deal with it every day in my life. You know, insecurity is part of struggle. Insecurities in your career. Insecurities of, why you've been single for 7 years. Insecurities of, why have you been cheated on 3 times? You know, if there was a blueprint for happiness and how things are done in this way, in this manner, we all sign up for it. We don't have the perfect answers for everything. You know, you can take advice from certain family members, but at the end of the day, you need to find the answers yourself. And that's my advice to you. Find the answers in your life and the things you want to do on your own. You got to have some type of independence. You know, you don't have to be 25 in order to feel like, okay, just because I'm 25 now, I'm going to be independent. Do it now. Do it now. If you're a young person like me, who knows what they want to do for a living, and they're going to do it no matter what anybody says, go do it. Do it on your own accord. Because there's a lot of times in my life where I felt like, fuck it. I'd rather be dead than dealing with the shit I had to deal with growing up in the environments I was living by. And that's 100% truth. But you know what? I had to give myself a purpose to stay around. I needed to find a reason to stay around. You know, I don't have the greatest relationship with my family. You know, I love my grandfather. There's some family members I do like, but I'm not bosom buddies with my family. I love my dad. He's my best friend. I like hanging out with him, but I don't see him every day. I don't have a great relationship with my mom. It is what it is. You know, I remember Punk saying this in his documentary. If you're not getting what you need from a certain environment, you have to search what you need on your own. And you need to escape. And a big part of me still feels like I need to leave Chicago to find that escape. So that's the monologue this week. I hope you guys liked it. And maybe you can share some of your internal struggles and your conflicts with me, and we can talk it out. I hope I can give you some advice. Just remember, do what you need to do for you and nobody else. Period. And that's this week's monologue. Right now, We're going to head to this week's Yacht Club Audio Moment of the Week, starring Mr. OTRS Central, which you can see him on YouTube. There's your plug, asshole. This Nimrod goes on a 10-minute soliloquy about Corey Graves. Hopefully, you'll enjoy that, and we'll be right back.
Sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like I'm the only one. And I know I can't be. I just can't be. Because I know one thing to be true. And I know there has to be others that agree with me. Corey Graves sucks. He absolutely, totally, completely, wholly, freaking sucks. I do not understand for the life of me how so many of the YouTube reviewers and the wrestling critics will bash and bash and bash the commentary teams for WWE's main shows, and yet somehow Corey Graves comes out unscathed from this. Like he isn't a part of this shit show. Like he isn't a major contributing factor to why the commentary does absolutely suck. What the hell is it about Corey Graves that is so special that so many of you guys schlob his knob and get down on your knees and suck it for him? He is terrible. And that's not even just talking about his stupid little ferret face with his whack-ass beady eyes, his lame-ass neck tats. Ooh, look at me, I'm like a combo of CM Punk and Jared Leto with none of the personality, charisma, or appeal of either of those guys. And what the hell is that thing on top of his head? What the hell is that haircut? And before you sit there and come at me with my freaking cancer patient Kane look, oh well, I own it. At least mine looks respectable. At least mine looks like a haircut a man would freaking have. What the hell is that on top of Corey Graves' head? Looking like a skater bitch from the 90s. It's stupid. But then it just boggles my mind to no end that people worship this guy. They talk about how great he is. Ding dong dumb dicks, he's not. He is terrible. First of all, here's what I don't understand about why so many people love Corey Graves on commentary. What in the bluest of blue fucks did this dude ever do to earn any type of credibility where he should be a commentator on one of the main brands, Raw, SmackDown, both? What the hell did he do? He couldn't even get past NXT before concussions ended his career. And believe me, even if concussions hadn't ended his career, he would have gotten up to the main roster. Vince would have saw him, realized he wasn't any damn good, would have sabotaged him, and he would have been future endeavor down the road any damn ways. So we take this dude who didn't have the ability to really be something on the main roster, move him into the commentary team, which is fine when he's at NXT. If he's a color commentator in NXT, he actually wrestled at NXT. He worked in NXT. He could speak to that. He has credibility there. But somehow along the way, this transitioned into a thing where we were so desperate for help at the commentary table that we took this dude that was never a main roster talent, most certainly was not a main roster star, that doesn't have name recognition with the vast majority of the WWE audience, and now we're throwing him out there on the main shows and expecting him to be able to be the facilitator to help tell the story to millions of television viewers. Give me a fucking break. You can sit there and bash and bag on Booker T's commentary all the hell you want, but I promise you this much. At least you know Booker T is legit. At least you know Booker T actually drew money in wrestling, something Corey Graves could only think about and imagine about and fantasize about. What is it? Why do you guys give him such a pass? Is it because you look at him and see yourself in him and see somebody that had no business ever being on a WWE main roster and wasn't going to have the talent to be on a WWE main roster? But he's like a fan. He's like one of you. He's younger. He's hip. He's fresh. He's new. He's different. No, he's dumb. He's stupid. And sitting there and liking him to the degree it seems like so many people do, to the fact that they excuse him, even though they bash and rag on the commentary teams of Raw and SmackDown consistently, is stupid. He has zero credibility. Absolutely none. Like even Jonathan Coachman has more credibility, significantly more credibility, than a freaking Corey Graves does when it comes to being a WWE main roster performer. Coachman's been there. He's done that. Unlike fucking Corey Graves. Not to mention the mainstream name recognition that Coachman brings, having his time from both WWE in the past and ESPN and all of that. And even in that case, it's still odd to have a three-man commentary team. I don't like that fundamentally to begin with. I feel like it sets these guys up to fail. But here's the second issue with that. You can make a three-man commentary team work if you have a straight-down-the-middle, play-by-play guy a heelish guy and a babyface guy. Those are the dynamics that freaking work. But it is impossible to have that when you have Corey Graves and his incessantly dumb dick flip-flopping from one character, one match, one story, one segment to the next. One time he's healing out, the next time he's babyfacing, the next time he's babyfacing on a heel, the next time he's babyfacing on a babyface, but then he's healing on a face, but then he's healing on somebody like a heel like Elias. Continuity, my ass, it's fucking stupid. It throws the whole dynamics of everything off when you don't know from one match to the next what the hell this guy's going to be about. How can the other guys around him be able to feed off of him, feed to him, if they don't know what the hell he's going to be doing? This is one of these smart mark fucking dumb shit type of things like, I'm going to do what I want for who I like and for who I don't like. No. Commentary, when it's at its best, has been done certain ways for a fucking reason. It either works best in one or two ways. With a two-man booth, you've got your straight-up play-by-play guy who's babyface, and then your heeled-out color commentator. Or, if you have a three-man commentary team, straight down the middle, no BS, leaning babyface play-by-play guy, extreme white meat to edgy babyface, and clear-cut heel over here. You can't have that with Corey Graves because he can't make up the fucking mind who he is and what he is. And you can take your reality era crap and shove it up your ass. It's part of the problem with professional wrestling today. People want to act like they know better than they really do. People want to act like the way things used to be done are passé and outdated. No, they're not. What happens is people try to hijack shit and do whatever the hell they want, up to and apparently including the commentary team. And what happens is nobody gets over in the right goddamn way. Stupid. We sit there and kiss this guy's ass. Who the hell is he? In terms of the main roster and main roster credibility, I have every bit as much right to be a color commentator on Raw or SmackDown as fucking Corey Graves does. And how ridiculous is that? How stupid does that sound? I know, believe me. So if it sounds stupid to think of me as a color commentator on Raw and or SmackDown, then why the hell is it okay for Corey Graves? Well, he's behind the scenes. That doesn't mean shit. He worked at NXT. That doesn't mean shit. It doesn't. NXT, one of those indie fucking circle jerks with a much higher production value. That's what the hell that crap is. And then to sit there, what is his personality? Like, what the fuck is Corey Graves, and who the hell is Corey Graves? If you're saying his whole personality is to be a grating, annoying little twit, the commentary version of Enzo Amore, well then, congratulations, mission accomplished. But in all seriousness, like, you can like me or not like me, but at least I have a personality. At least I come across and make some type of impression. What the fuck does Corey Graves do? Other than take unnecessary cheap pot shots trying to make other guys look bad on commentary, namely Booker T and specifically Byron Saxton. You know? Why would he want to bash on those two guys so damn much? You want to say you're working it, part of the shtick and part of the character, but it's not one of these things like you look at the NBA on TNT crew with Barkley and Shaq and Kenny the Jet. These are legit guys that have credibility, that were all-stars, in Barkley and Shaq's case, freaking Hall of Famers, and they're actually funny when they do their crazy crap. Like Corey Graves goes out of his way to try and outsmart everybody else and be funnier than everybody else, and he humors nobody because he's fucking lame. So sick and tired of seeing Corey Graves getting a free pass and all this crap and making out Corey Graves to be something great. If Michael Cole sucks, and he does, if guys like David Otunga and Byron Saxton and others have sucked, which they do, then what the hell does Corey Graves do? He sucks, and apparently in order to get this job and for have so many people to kiss his ass, apparently he sucks and he does it really well. Now, I can see why Booker T's getting so pissed at him. I can see why Booker T wants to fight his ass. Little cunt. Now, granted, Booker T should know well enough. You're a Hall of Famer. People will actually remember you. Corey Graves is an annoying zit in the history of the WWE and Monday Night Raw. That's what he is. Booker T has a legacy. Corey Graves has no chance at one. So Booker T should grow the hell up and get over it too. But it's this whole thing of the excuses being made for Corey Graves and the kissing his ass all the time and sucking up to him and praising him unnecessarily. Like he's immune and exempt from the criticism for what we unanimously all consistently agree on is that the commentary is the absolute shits. You know, sometimes the past is the past and it's best left in the past for a reason. But then there are those instances where it used to work in the past and it worked for a reason because it would still work now, and it is the way and reason you should do it. But not in this kind of internet smarky fucking the marks are actually in the business era. We want to outsmart everyone else. We want to be smarter than everybody else. We want to look better than anyone else. And we want to hijack shit and do whatever the hell we want. And that's what Corey Graves does. And all he does is helps contribute to the absolute suckage of the commentary teams because, once again, from his look to his act to his lack of personality, his stupidity in terms of even trying to tell the story on commentary, to his unnecessary potshots, to his lack of credibility. Never forget this. Never forget this. Corey Graves absolutely sucks.
The fact this schmuck has more YouTube subscribers than me is absolutely ridiculous. But hey, misery breeds company, right? Let's flock like sheep to negativity and let's subscribe to douchebags like OTRS Central. Give me a break. That's this week's Yacht Club of the Week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to send me any suggestions for the Yacht Club and clips you think will fit this segment. Please send it to me on Twitter at NotoriousJoshi. Right now, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I'm going to air Linkin Park's Valentine's Day song. I was playing this the other day on guitar. It's one of my favorite Linkin Park songs to play on the guitar. Hope you enjoy it. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this past week's SmackDown Live right here on the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast.
My insides all turn to ash, so slow, and blew away as I collapsed, so cold. A black wind took them away from sight, and now the darkness over day that night, and the clouds above move
Looks like the Queen needed her loyal subjects to bail her out again.
Wait, did you guys hear that they're all on the SmackDown Live Top 10 list? We're not here for junior high drama. We're here to start a riot.
So how about next week, y'all test your luck against the Riot Squad, and we'll leave you splattered in the ring, just like we left Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
This is only the beginning. It's only a matter of time before the Queen's whole world crumbles.
Randy, tonight you attempted to accept Bobby Roode's U.S. Open Challenge. However, how do you respond to what happened between Jinder Mahal and Bobby Roode in the ring with you tonight?
Well, Dasha, let me make one thing perfectly clear. I don't care about any top 10 list. But I got to admit, I'm a little surprised that I even made the top 10. I mean, if I was one of my peers, I wouldn't vote for me. I have RKO'd damn near everybody in the locker room. Literally. And I just don't get it. It's over my head. I don't understand why anybody would vote for me. But that being said, I did go to that ring tonight to beat Bobby Roode in the U.S. Open Challenge. Take the United States Championship away from Bobby Roode, back to St. Louis, Missouri, and call it mine. That didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Stay tuned.
For the past couple of weeks, me and Hoots been telling y'all how we run things here on SmackDown Live. There ain't another tag team on this roster who can steal our shine. Nah, you can try to, but it's lights out to everyone who challenges us. A lot of cats out here trying to step up to the Uso. You can try to. Hey, you stand up, and we gonna sit you right back down. We're not just any other tag team. We're brothers, real brothers, the bloodline. And there ain't nothing that can break this bond. Ride or die, from the womb to the tomb. Run up and get done up. Welcome to the Uso. Pay attention.
Bobby, things didn't go the way that you had planned out there tonight, but going off of what Jinder said, do you really consider yourself the future Legend Killer?
Future Legend Killer? I don't even know where Jinder got that. I'm the United States champion. And like I said out there, I want to carry on the tradition of what the guys like John Cena did before me, the U.S. Open Challenge. That's a tradition that I want to continue, and I wanted to continue that here tonight. And like I said, I was hoping for that one man to come out. And that one man did come out. Randy Orton came out and accepted the challenge. But then Jinder Mahal decided to stick his nose in my business. And no, it didn't end the way that I wanted it to end. But in the future, and the next Open Challenge, whether it be Randy Orton or Jinder Mahal, I guarantee you this, that when it's all said and done, the United States Championship will continue to be absolutely glorious.
I'm just going to jump right into this. So Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, either one of those guys is the type of WWE champion you're looking for? Even after they did a double beatdown and took away two guys worthy of an opportunity. Well, I'm here to say it's not going down like that tonight.
Look, I think that we
Listen, I've already spoken to Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler, and both of those guys, although they're banged up, they're going to get their opportunity tonight, and they're looking for it. So Baron Corbin is going to go one-on-one in singles competition against Kevin Owens. Dolph Ziggler is going to go one-on-one against Sami Zayn in singles competition. And if either of them win their match, then Fastlane will become either a fatal four-way or a fatal five-way for the WWE Championship. And one other thing, if either one of your boys gets involved in their prospective matchups, then they're out of the Fastlane pay-per-view. See you later.
Dolph, big congratulations to you tonight with your victory over Sami Zayn. You're now added into the Fatal 5-Way matchup for the WWE Championship at Fastlane. What a big return here for you tonight.
Thanks, Renee. Sorry I was so curt earlier. You caught me off guard, but I was very focused. Like I said, I came back for one thing, is to go to WrestleMania. I mean, I know what I can do. Sammy, Kevin, Corbin, AJ, they know what I'm capable of, and I could understand and I could see it in Sammy's eyes tonight that he knew he had to get through me to keep his chance. at going to WrestleMania. Punch your ticket. What everyone wants to do, what everyone lives for is going to WrestleMania. Then you take it up a notch. I've been here 12 years. I want a main event at WrestleMania. I want to walk in the door as the champ and walk out as the fireworks are going off. It's my show. That's what I want. And I knew if I came back, I had to make a difference. And I was a little bit caught off guard. Shane McMahon put me in a match. I was in Tahiti, sipping Bay Breezes. Wow. And I go, 2 workouts a day, let's make it 3. And I came back, and I talked to you a few minutes ago, and I said, I have to punch my own ticket. I have to do what I do best, and I did it tonight. I stuck it to Sami Zayn after him and his cowardly friend, and whoever they're friends with who keeps putting them in such perfect positions on the show. I know the deal. You people want to say the Dax stacked against them. They have destiny. They have one way to the top. I know what I'm here to do. It's to be the best. I went 1 notch of proving it tonight. I think we got about big pay-per-view match. Take the title, walk into WrestleMania, and then walk out with those fireworks. That's the way I do it.
Awesome. Well, good to see you back.
Thanks, Renee.
Welcome back to the podcast. Took a look right there. This past week's SmackDown Live. Hailing from Bakersfield, California, out on the West Coast. California. Alright, I'm done. Really quick hits here, and I don't want you guys to keep you long. You guys know the drill here on the podcast. We don't fully break down every single editions of SmackDown and Raw, segment by segment. There's already 170 other wrestling podcasts for you to divulge into that type of content. This is a couple snap things that come off the top of my head. We got Fastlane coming up March 11th. That's going to be in just about 3 weeks, I think, or so. Yeah, 3 weeks for SmackDown's final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and it will be actually the final pay-per-view on the schedule before WrestleMania. I don't think there's any network specials that we have to worry about in the meantime, but anyways, we have, of course, the Chamber coming up a week for the Sunday, but we'll talk about that at Raw. As far as SmackDown Live, I thought the show was okay. I really liked the Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton in-ring segment. It's not a lot of times we get to see those guys on the mic, so when they do, it's kind of unique in its way, and I thought Jinder got good heat. It was nice seeing Randy show a little different side to him on the mic as well, and Randy's kind of playing off like he doesn't care about the top 10 list and all that. And, the possibilities of a Bobby Roode, Randy Orton feud for me would be really cool from a selfish standpoint, because I think those two would put on a good series of matches. So I kind of hope that does happen, but I could see the angle of possibly having Jinder against Bobby, against Randy at Fastlane in a triple threat match, and I wouldn't mind it. I still think the match would be good in its own right. Speaking of good matches, I thought Baron Corbin brought it with Kevin Owens. I thought that was a fine match. Same thing with Dolph Ziggler and Sami Zayn. So now we have a fatal 5-way match at Fastlane for the WWE title. AJ Styles against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler. And that was kind of the thread throughout the show. And there's still this tension brewing between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon over this WWE title picture, and we haven't seen Nakamura over the last couple of weeks. Not that you should be concerned about that, but honestly, here's the question I want to pose for you guys when it comes to SmackDown. What do you do with Nakamura at Fastlane, or does he really even need to be on the pay-per-view? I saw an advertisement that John Cena supposedly advertised for the Fastlane pay-per-view. If you want to do an attraction match with John Cena against Nakamura there, I'm fine with that. But the question I ask for you, with what's going on right now on the SmackDown scene, what would you do with Nakamura at Fastlane, or do you even need him on the show? Because in a way, we know what Fastlane is. We know where we're going with in this sense. Something's got to give with the Shane McMahon Daniel Bryan feud. Are they going to fight each other or not? Is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn going to turn their backs on each other, and we're going to get that match for WrestleMania? We'll have to see. But sooner or later, as the weeks keep going by, you see those little crinks in where SmackDown's going with their matches at WrestleMania. Now, the only one that I don't know personally what's going to happen is with the women on SmackDown. I don't know who Charlotte will face. Will Charlotte be the one that has to have a 5-way or 6-way match at Mania with the Riot Squad and Naomi and Becky Lynch so everybody gets an opportunity to be on the show? I don't know. Do you have a 6-woman ladder match at Mania for the women? Do you do that? Just throwing it out there. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do. Do you do Charlotte against Becky 1-on-1? Do you do Charlotte against Naomi, Becky, and Ruby Riott in a fatal 4-way elimination match? Will you do that? I do see the angle of the Usos against the Bludgeon Brothers, and I have absolutely no problem with that. I love their matches they had when Harper and Rowan were in the Wyatt family, so I don't know why this round wouldn't work. I think the characters are cool. I think their matches and some of the new elements they've added to this team is interesting. And that's just my opinion, though. So things are slowly but surely picking up for SmackDown. I know a lot of people feel like it's on a low down period, and this is one of the reasons why SmackDown got the short end of the stick in regards to the brand split. And I don't agree with all those booking complaints that you hear on other podcasts. That's not for me to say. You know, I look forward to covering SmackDown each week. I get what I need from those shows. You know, yeah, is there a lot of rematches? Sure. But there's not a part of the show where I feel like I'm regretting covering SmackDown Live. I don't feel that way. And that's just my opinion. So, overall, I thought SmackDown was okay, and we're 3 weeks out from Fastlane. We'll pretty much know by next week what the full card will be for that pay-per-view. And I don't know any other surprises that you're going to add to the show, because we got to figure out what's going to happen with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Do you have a United States Championship match on the main show? Who from the SmackDown brand is going to be stuck in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? Who from the SmackDown brand is going to be on the kickoff show? You know, there's going to be talented people that are unfortunately not going to have the opportunity to have full spotlighted matches at this year's WrestleMania. And that's just one of the crutches they have when you have two brands and all these guys in there. You know, it's easy to say, oh, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable should have a spotlight at WrestleMania, and then the next second you're complaining about, oh, there's too many multi-man matches. You got pick your hill to die on, folks. Do you want everybody on the show to get spotlighted in certain matches, or do you want more multi-person matches? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too in this case, especially when it comes to WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. That's my thoughts on SmackDown. Right now, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show talking about Monday Night Raw. It was a really, really good show this past week from San Jose. And give my thoughts on this Elimination Chamber card that's coming up. And I got some comments for Ronda Rousey and her haters. So we're going to take a look at this past week's Monday Night Raw, and we'll be right back.
Absolution, congratulations on the victory tonight against two other women you will see in Elimination Chamber. How do you take the momentum from tonight and keep it rolling all the way through Las Vegas?
Well, actually, can I just butt in for this second real quick? So statistically, we have the bigger chances of actually winning the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber and walking out the Raw Women's Champion. So what do you have to say about that, ladies?
Statistically and physically, we have the advantage of walking out of the Elimination Chamber the winners. So that's exactly what we're gonna do.
Okay?
Okay.
Come on, ladies.
Scott, Dash, it has been a rough couple weeks for the Revival, kicking off with Raw 25 with the loss to DX and Balor Club. But tonight, you guys pulled through with a victory. How do you keep this momentum heading into WrestleMania?
First of all, Mike, we told you to call us Mr. Top Guys.
Second of all, if you think we're not used to rough times, to overcoming rough obstacles, then you obviously haven't seen the Revival our entire careers. We've been overcoming obstacle after obstacle after obstacle every single day of our lives since the day we were born. And when we got to NXT, we were nothing. We were nobodies. We weren't ever supposed to be where we are right now. Yet here we are. Do you know why, Mike? Because we overcome every single obstacle we have ever faced. If you think Raw 25 was an obstacle, if you think the Balor Club is an obstacle, you don't know who you're talking to.
Let me put it to you like this, Mike, okay? Maybe you can understand this, okay? Just because you beat Jesse James don't make you as bad as Jesse James and Jack. We are Jesse James, and we are the baddest. You can take a pretty little bumper sticker and slap it on the back of a Dodge Stratus, but it ain't a 1980 Ford Bronco. We are that Ford Bronco. Mario Andretti is driving, and we are the absolute best on this planet. Nobody compares. Nobody compares. And when they talk about great units, when they talk about the absolute best unit, they don't call you a great tag team. They call you the Revival, and that's what we are. The absolute best unit on this planet, bar none. And here's the thing, is Mike, we're going to take it a little personal, okay? My house is paid for. My house is paid for. All the money that I make here goes to my bank account. And you know what makes me happy? Is money. That's it. Money runs the world, and money runs the Revival.
And Mike, the Revival, we're in the history-making business. And business, it's booming. Top guys out.
Quite the controversial ending to Monday Night Raw tonight. It seemed like both Finn Balor and Seth Rollins pinned Bray Wyatt. How's that going to affect the Elimination Chamber for you?
Well, Renee, you're right. There was definitely some controversy. But that's what happens when you have 5 world-class athletes in the ring at the same time.
Kurt, no controversy. The world's seen what happened. I pinned Bray Wyatt in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. I should be going to the Elimination Chamber.
Hey, look, with all due respect, all right? I had Bray pinned. I had his shoulders down. I got the cover. 1, 2, 3. I should be going to Chamber. That last opening should be mine. Listen to me. It doesn't matter what you think.
Okay, guys,
I should be in that chamber. It's my WrestleMania moment, you understand?
Okay, stop. You both proved your point. You both deserve to be in the Elimination Chamber. That's right. There's going to be 7 men in the Elimination Chamber match. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
All right. I'll see you at the Chamber, Seth.
All right, folks, one more segment before we head out of here. Here we go. Let's talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw. There you go. There's my Vince impression for the day. God damn it, pal. So good. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw for one of my favorite arenas in the United States, the SAP Center in San Jose, California. Monday night was the night of really good technical wrestling matches, as it's been per theme for the last couple weeks I've been talking about here on the show. Raw's clicking on all cylinders, man, at least when it comes to the in-ring point of view. Going from Sasha Banks against Bayley, which was a really good match, and then you had Roman Reigns against Sheamus. These two always have good chemistry. Oh, by the way, Roman Reigns keeps hitting home runs in the ring, but hey everybody, oh my god, we gotta be scared about Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Oh my god, the WrestleMania's gonna be ruined for Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. It's gonna be a horrible match. Shut up. Jesus Christ. Other stuff on the show. We had the really cool segment with Kurt Angle and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was entered in the Last Chance Fatal 4-Way match. Kurt Angle announced that his son Jason Jordan would be missing WrestleMania due to a serious neck injury. And of course, Nimrods in San Jose are chanting yes and are applauding Jason Jordan missing the show due to injury, which just pisses me off. Because of the stupid smart mark nature of our freaking society and our wrestling fandom now, where just because we don't like the booking. Oh, let me hold my nose when I do this, by the way. I don't like the booking. I don't like the booking of Jason Jordan. Oh, I'm not booing the person. I'm booing the booking. Even though the person got an injury, I'm just happy because I don't have to see him on my television. He doesn't have to ruin storyline continuity. That's how you guys sound, by the way, on these podcasts. I hope you know that. I'm just throwing that out there as well. I don't like his booking. Even though he's hurt, yeah, it's unfortunate, but he's not going to ruin my viewing experience because he won't ruin the storyline continuity. Oh, man. It's just ridiculous, man. And then you had a nice tag team match with the Revival and Luke Gallows, Carlos Anderson, and Gallows and Anderson are still doing the nerdometer. It's hilarious. And then we had the main event was Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Woken Matt Hardy. Yes! Whoa. Apollo Crews can't lose, and Bray Wyatt. Last chance fatal 5-way match. Those are probably my favorite matches right now to cover in all of wrestling. It's either a fatal 5-way or a triple threat match in Lucha Underground. Those are my favorite to cover right now. Or this Eddie Tomohiro Ishii single match for New Japan, alright? I'll throw that out there as well. So, I really enjoyed Raw from top to bottom this week. We got one more show in Phoenix this Monday, which will be the final show for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. I'll make my predictions for that Chamber pay-per-view next week, and we'll see what happens on the Red Brand there. You know, everybody's saying it's a gone-home conclusion that Roman Reigns is going to win the Chamber, but I am going to throw this out there. There is a possibility of Rollins costing Roman Reigns the match. I'm just going to throw that out there. You never know. They can eliminate each other. We'll see. But I think something big is going to happen in the Chamber match. And then, how can I even forget the Elias Braun Strowman stuff? If that's not the segment of the year for the WWE, I don't know what is. I was crying laughing this past Monday when that segment came on. So props to Elias and Braun Strowman. And even John Cena and The Miz had a very good match too. So if you haven't seen Raw this week, go check it out. It was a really good episode from top to bottom. One of the better ones this year. Go check that out. And then we'll see what happens this Monday for Phoenix. And then I'll make my predictions. Yes! For the Chamber of Elimination. Yes! On that note, I'm going to wrap up this week's podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking out the podcast. Hope you guys took some life lessons from that monologue about struggle. Remember, you got to do what's best for you. Don't let family members dictate your decisions. You want to find the answers to your problems and the answers to what you want in life, go out and figure it out on your own. Period. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at NotoriousShashi. Make sure to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/JWL Podcast. Also, make sure to check out ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. This week's theme for Wrestling Rewind, my series of throwback articles, is Seth Rollins' redesign, rebuild, reclaim WWE 24 special on the WWE Network. That's the second documentary that I transcribed. The first one was the CM Punk one, and I got a lot of positive feedback for the one. If you can check out the Seth Rollins one, let me know what you think about it. And I put a lot of work into that the other day, so I hope you guys like it. I have play-by-play articles for Impact, 205 Live, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, New Japan, all the pay-per-views. It's right there, bookmark ProWrestlingTranscriptions.com. And if you want to be an advertiser for the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast, all you have to do is send me an email at ProWrestlingTranscriptions@gmail.com using the subject line, advertising. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review and a review on Apple Podcasts. By the way, if you can send me your screenshots of you doing the review, I'll give you a retweet on Twitter and give you a shout out on the show. Make sure to support all my good brothers, Adam Daly at MDay13, the Snowman, Brian Snow, Brother Carter, Twitter at Derrick06, Nick_BD, Sam Piopo at Second City Sam, my boy Brandon DeJesus, Steve Muhlhausen at S. Muhlhausen MMA. Next week, we're going to have my boy Jonathan Hood from ESPN 1000 and Sirius XM NBA Radio on next week to talk about what's going on in the world of Chicago sports and professional wrestling. That's going to be a lot of fun next week. And we'll have our predictions, yes, for the Chamber Elimination, yes. And with that, it's been episode 93 of the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm shrugging my shoulders just like Michael Jordan did in the 93 finals against the Portland Trail Blazers. With that, I'm out. Remember, you are the director of your life story. Never let anybody impugn your character. Enjoy this clip of Booker T smashing Dave Meltzer, and we'll talk to you next week on the Josh Lopez Wrestling Podcast. I love you guys.
Does it blow your mind when it's one thing if it's like Dave Meltzer, who's been, a quote-unquote wrestling journalist, but really...
Whoa. Dirt sheet.
Right. Okay. So it's one thing if it's a dirt sheet. It's one thing if it's one of these wrestling like rumor websites. That anybody who knows that if you look at quote unquote news from those sources, 80 to 90% of it is wrong, or it's leaked purposely so that a story gets told. But did you ever think, as many years as you've been involved in wrestling, that you would get to a point where the dirt sheets become a part of Forbes and Sports Illustrated and all these reputable websites? Did you ever think that dirt sheet writing would come to legitimate news sources?
Let me tell you, Sam. After the first night, after Saturday night, Brad called me Sunday morning.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, Brad called me early Sunday morning, and I'm like, why is Brad calling me on Sunday morning? And then he goes, Book, have you seen this? And I'll go, what are you talking about? He's like, man, this thing is everywhere. He said, maybe you should make a statement. And I go, what? I'm not making a statement. What are you talking about? So we blew it off, and the following Monday morning, my phone rang again, and who it is? It's Brad. Brad saying, no, Book, we really need to make a statement.
Because Brad's from the radio world, where he's starting to get worried. Like, we're losing control of the narrative here, Book. We got to do something here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was like, man, Book. I mean, it's one thing, like you said, Sam, if it's Meltzer or whomever, but it's another when I see, like, I type in Booker T in Google, and Forbes.com is running an article like how Booker's going to run up on Sam Roberts because he gets mean when he messes with his green. And I was like, Book, I don't know. I know it's a big joke, but maybe we should say something, or maybe you should call Corey. And then and it was actually on Monday was your anniversary, right?
Yeah. And
you called Corey Graves, and then and he put out the Art of War tweet, and then the afternoon radio thing. I mean, it was phenomenally done. But like my thing was, it was never intended, like you said earlier, it was never intended to be a work. It wasn't a shoot, but people took it, and they essentially worked themselves.
Yeah.
You know what, Sam, I'm still wondering, because like I said, if you listen to, I did a rap song. I did a rap
song. We played a Migos record, and Booker talked smack over Migos.
Walking like you're talking. Walking like you're talking. Right hand. Walking like you're talking. Left hand. Walking like you're talking. Uppercut. Walking like you're talking. Tap out. Walking like you're talking. Choke out. Walking like you're talking. WrestleMania. Walking like you're talking. WrestleMania. I'm like, wait a minute. How could that be serious? I'm like, come on here.
And we followed it up, by the way, by playing the Hulk Hogan diss by Macho Man Randy Savage.
I heard that. I heard Be a Man, Hulk, right?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. It was great radio. It really was.
Right.
And it really was. That's why I really don't understand it. I really don't.
That's the name of the game. I mean, there have been, in my life in radio, there have been like 2 or 3 famous people that have kind of taken shots at me and said, unkind things. And when somebody like that takes a shot at me in a public way, it's hours of, I don't care who says what about me, but it becomes hours and hours of radio because, like.